The lady doth protest too much, but like, the lady doth not protest too much. She's too gung-ho. Hey YouTube, welcome back to SIBZ, West Coast, East Coast siblings. If you're new to the channel, welcome. We cover your favorite movies and TV shows, and tonight we are covering the final episode of The Bachelorette. This episode was a whopping 3 hours, and it only needed to be 5 minutes. So we are down to the final two, Justin and Blake. Katie's distraught, but she decides that she's gonna tough it out, figure out where this journey goes after Greg left and destroyed her heart. So she picks Blake to go on this special one-on-one / fantasy suite, but not fantasy suite first, and she spills the tea on everything that happened with Greg, and she says, to be honest, my heart was ready to give up. Basically, she just realizes in that moment that Blake's the one. That's the love of her life. And then she is in love with the man. And oh, all of her prayers, all of the pain has been worth it for this moment. And I'm just like, girl, who you fooling? Greg broke your heart, girl. You can tell he straight up ripped your heart out and walked away with it. But the next day, you're fine enough to tell Blake that you're madly in love with him? I don't think so. Blake's response is to make out with her. Oh, you're upset, babe. Here, let me fix the problem. No. Bro, nobody asked for all that. Anyway, Blake tells her that he loves her. Katie straight up, in my opinion, lies and is like, I love you too. Now, my thing is, right, she was telling all these other men, I'm not going to tell anyone that I love them until, like, the last minute because I don't think it's fair. Well, Greg leaves, she's heartbroken and pissed, and she tells Blake she loves him. That seems irrational to me. That does not seem like a genuine I love you moment. That seems like a I'm desperate moment and you're here. She has to talk to Justin. Basically, she tells Justin Greg left and she's realizing now that she loves Blake. And poor Justin's just like, okay, cool. Honestly, I really do feel like she wasted Justin's time. She dragged him along until she had to pick somebody, and she didn't pick him. Proves, or at least there's a little bit of truth to what Greg said. Katie was dragging some of these guys along because she had to have guys in order to last the show out. You know what I'm saying? She did it with Brendan. She did it with Mike P. She did it with Andrew. She did it with Justin. And so she kept them along, even though she didn't actually love them. Now, there's some footage, I guess, between Katie and Justin that we missed. Apparently, they did have chemistry. But for Justin to say that he feels like she didn't give him a fair shot, that's enough for me because we've seen her do it with other guys. And I think Greg was right. She was being the Bachelorette. And then Justin starts crying and I'm just like, bro, she not worth it. Katie's family is not in support of this relationship. They don't think that Blake is mature enough, and they don't seem to think that Katie is in love. I mean, her family would know, right? Katie's talking about all of her fears and whatnot, and Blake's response is like, oh, wow, she's got a lot of fears. That's like a lot to handle. Like, whoa. It's like, what? I have to propose to her. Oh, my love is real, but like there's a difference. The love that you have for someone and then like, you know, we're getting married love. Oh, I gotta get a ring. I'm like, bro, what show did you think you were on? He's getting cold feet, I guess. Anyway, long story short, they drag it out. I mean, this finale was 3 hours and she was deciding between really one man. But now we get to the real tea of the evening. Greg shows up and they sit down and they have a talk. And Katie is peed off from the jump. Homegirl can't even give him a hug and barely looks at him. She is pissed. And let me tell you something. Hell hath no fury. Hell hath no fury. Like a woman scorned, and Katie is a woman scorned, and let me tell you something else. She still loves Greg. You don't get that mad for no reason. You don't get that mad unless you still care about the person who upset you. First of all, when Greg comes on and he's acting all fine and all cool, I'm like, whoa, major red flag. You're not hurt? You're not feeling some type of way? I was like, oh, Greg's a psychopath. Okay, Katie, you dodged a bullet. But then they start talking more about what happened and whatnot, and you can tell Greg's getting a little, you know, getting the feels or whatever. What Greg is saying is that he felt like in that moment, after a magical hometown, he needed some assurances. Just like Katie needed to be confident in the men that she was moving forward with, he needed that too. And I'm like, okay, I understand that. That's reasonable. And Katie's like, well, I gave you all those assurances. I gave you the first impression rose. I gave you a first one-on-one, and then I gave you another one-on-one. But honestly, I understand where Greg is coming from. It's like, if we weren't on the show, you would have told me that you loved me. And you didn't do it because we're on The Bachelorette. I just wanted you apart from The Bachelorette. Do you love me or not? And he's right. You know, if she wanted him, she would have told him that. She would have gone after him and told him the truth and not kept dragging it on like, oh, I can't tell anyone. She said every other thing but I love you. I think that was her fault. But it's not like Greg didn't gaslight her, because he totally did. He totally was flipping out. They both made mistakes. So I can understand. I understand more of where Greg is coming from and not as much where Katie is coming from, because as we know with Claire, if you love that man, go get that man. Katie accusing Greg of being an actor. Greg went to acting school and he was just performing with me. I'm like, girl, who you fooling? That man was not kidding with you. He was not faking it with you. He loved you and you loved him. And you know what? You both messed it up. Don't try to protect yourself and cover your own behind, because you made the mistake of not telling him what he needed to hear. And she's like, you can't give me an ultimatum like that. Honestly, if you love the man, is it really an ultimatum? Is it really that hard for you to tell him that he your man? Now, if I were Blake, I would be furious. I'd be like, why are you still so upset? It has been months since you have seen this man, and you are more pissed at him today than you were the day he left. Why are you so upset, Katie? If I were Blake, I'd be like, psh, girl, you need to go work out your mess before you try to marry me, because that ain't gonna happen. I ain't gonna be no consolation prize. Be like, you gonna figure this out first before you come after me. It's late, in case you can't tell. If Greg could have just kept his mouth shut, even though he wanted to hear Katie say that to him, hands down, they would have been together. So at the end of the day, it's Greg's fault. He couldn't stick it out. And you knew that. You knew that, and you still dragged him through this process. But anyway, yeah, it's just a shame. Because Greg's cute. Greg's cute. In fact, Greg, I'm in New Jersey. I look real ugly right now, but I'm cute. I promise. I'm cute. I'm cute. Last and certainly least, Blake is trying to tell Katie how much he loves her or something, and he redoes the say anything thing with the boombox. I'm just like, bro, it was dorky and uncomfortable when you did it the first time. Please just tell your friends to sit down, put their boomboxes away. We get it. You guys are in love. But honestly, Katie's zeal for Blake is like, it doesn't seem real. I don't trust it. I don't know. You know, what do I know? I'm single. I don't know. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. As always, like this video if you like this video. Comment. Let me know what you think. Spill all the tea. Tell me all how you feeling, because as you can see, I pretty much just took a fit on here tonight. Don't forget to subscribe and click the bell, because I will be releasing my full review of The White Lotus on HBO Max as soon as that finishes. We've got Titans coming up, Season 2. We're going to get our review of Suicide Squad 2 out soon. Yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will not see you next week, at least for The Bachelorette, but I will see you tomorrow for Gossip Girl. Okay, bye.